Welcome back to Airtime, John and Kirsty. Today we're going to, well, do you know what? I'm gonna let Kirsty tell you about this actually, because I've no idea where we're going. It's called Farm of Terror. Now I've never heard of this place at all, and Kirsty won tickets.
Yeah. I don't know how. Basically, I just googled scare mazes, and then I found this company called Farm of Terror, and it said they had a competition to win some free tickets and a drink at the bar.
Was this on Facebook?
Yeah.
Like genuinely, this is not like a gifted thing.
No.
We've got no idea what to expect.
No. So you just had to like a few things and comment. So I just did that and I ended up winning them. And now I'm scared.
Well, to be honest, so am I, because there's very little about it online. I've read a few reviews back from like 2017 onwards, so it obviously exists. But here's where it gets weird. You've got to park up in the Morrisons car park, and then you get taken to the farm on a bus. Sounds weird, doesn't it? I mean, I'm sure it's legit. I hope it's legit anyway. But yeah, it's a prize, you know. It's free, so we thought we'd try it. Something different. As I say, there's I could take over. I've not been able to find anything like vlog-wise online, so hopefully, if we enjoy it, you know, it might be something that you can try either this year or next year. It's Halloween on Monday, isn't it? So
no,
isn't it?
No.
Next week, the week after. Oh,
I got confused. I thought it was this Monday.
Oh well, so if it's good, you might be able to go and check it out.
Yeah.
But I'm scared.
So
I am genuinely a little bit scared.
Really scared.
I've been thinking all week. I don't know whether to leave this one or what, but you know what? You've got to try things, haven't you? It's just the bus thing that's getting me. It sounds like are you going to find this footage on? Are the police going to release this and like couple murdered at scare event? Oh God! Any final words?
No, I've nothing to say.
Okay, see you in a bit. Here's our bus now. Go on then, you first. We've been given a raffle ticket number. 721, and we're in a group of 6, so I think there's about 4 groups ahead of us, and then we're going to go in. But the area that it's in is quite spooky, quite secluded, let's say. It's a good little setup though with the transfer, the buses.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was really easy, and we're alive. Bonus for now. The next day, and we had a brilliant night. It was really, really good. We didn't record anything when we finished last night because we just thought we were better off coming away, you know, instead of trying to record something in the car and essentially missing things out. We thought we'd come away, make a few notes on the phone so that we could go through everything with you and let you know what the exact experience was. Because there was so much to take in. It was quite long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was I'd say it was about 25 minutes all in all, but it was a continuous thing. But anyway, there's very little chance to record during the actual, it reminded me a bit of Scare Kingdom, but it was without waiting between each particular house. It was a constant experience, if you like. So We're going to talk you through it bit by bit. So if you don't want any spoilers, best turn off, I'd say now, because, you know, obviously we were limited on footage. So it's going to be more of an explanation of what Farm of Terror is and what we thought about it. When we arrived at Morrisons, there were 2 members of staff there with high visors on. So we thought straight away, oh, you know, we're not going to be murdered. Although anyone could wear a high vis, to be fair, you know, so that's how suggestible we are potentially. If you want to murder us, throw a high vis on and say, come here, John and Kirsty. But anyway, so we approached them and said, you know, where do we park? Are you from Farm of Terror? And they were lovely, they were dead friendly. Yeah, nice. Just park up there and the next bus will be here in 5 minutes. So it was a nice little minibus actually. Yeah. So when the minibus turned up, and I thought, hey, it's quite a fancy one. This I thought, hey, could be a really good event. This. So the reason for the minibus, we got talking to the 2 members of staff, and the reason for the minibus is it's about 5 minutes from the Morrisons, but you have to go up this incredibly tight lane, which leads you into a sort of a road where it's there are houses on either side, but it's quite a narrow road. So I think that they just don't want people walking up there disturbing the public, but potentially the local residents. But also, it's quite muddy, isn't it, when you get up there? So it's not an option to either get the bus. You need to get the bus. You have to. They state on the website, don't they, that you've got to get the bus there. Anyway, so we got to the event and we were greeted at the door by one of the staff who asked how many people were there, and she put us into a group of 6, about half an hour wait, and then we were, obviously our number was shouted out. We were taken over to a lady at the front of the experience, who then, she had these contact lenses in, and I got a feeling she owned the company. Yeah. I'm not sure, but she was very knowledgeable about it. She looked quite scary with the eyes, and then she was like, "Hey, yeah, you alright? How's it going? You alright? Yeah, so welcome." And she was dead bubbly, which actually made it creepier. Yeah. In some ways, it was odd. So they talk you through the waiver. There's a big board that you've got to read, and she explains in no uncertain terms that this is a ridiculously intense experience, which freaked Kirsty out. Yeah. It did. And me a little bit, to be honest. It freaked me out a little bit, because I was thinking, oh, the way she's explaining this in such a bubbly way. I mean, I've done it once and I would never do it again. And I was like, whoa. Yeah, so that was quite funny. We were also given an option. Oh, yeah. So we were given an option of taking a glow stick through. And it was, she said, you can choose to live or die. It's normally an easy choice, that one, isn't it, to be honest? But she said, yeah, if you take a glow stick, then you can't be touched. You'll still be scared, but you can't be touched or attacked. I think she said something like that. Yeah. But if you don't, then she said, then you're fair game. So we were like, oh. So Kirsty, you had a bit of a panic there, didn't you? Yeah, I was just worried because I didn't want to. She said you can be split up as well, didn't she? She said if you don't have a glow stick, they can just split you up and they can put you. She said they can put you in a cage. Yeah. So I didn't want that to happen. I honestly thought Kirsty was going to back out at that point, and I was so scared. I said, just take a glow stick and you'll be fine. And anyway, it turns out there was only me and was it the man and the lady who didn't take a glow stick, and Kirsty and the 2 younger girls took one, which I'll tell you about in a bit, because that became quite funny in itself. It was like just every 5 seconds. Oh, no. We're also told to enjoy each room or experience to the full. They said a lot of people will get the initial fright and then just run out. They said, try and experience each particular zone as much as you can. Don't just run through it. Get your money's worth, because things will carry on. As long as you're in the room, they will carry on. Yeah. So again, I suppose it's down to your level of comfort, really. Some of the rooms I was like, okay, I think I want to go now. And then some of the things I was like, actually, I want to see how this develops. And the actors were all very good at that, just keeping going and keeping going. The theme is really good as well in the rooms, isn't it? Each like room is a scene, and they just
themed so well.
Yeah.
Like there's loads of stuff, even if there's like, you know, if an actor's speaking to someone in the group, there's still lots of things to look at and things going on, like around you as well. It's not just that.
There was a lot of money spent on it.
Yeah.
And you know, for one of these events that you don't really know about, it just shows you that there's so many good things out there that you don't know about, because you always see the same things reviewed all the time or vlogged.
Yeah.
And there must be so many of these smaller scale events. Maybe they just don't have the money on marketing, stuff like that. But, you know, this event, they've clearly spent a lot of money on it. So we started off in, we were led in, and it was a very, very dark tunnel. And then we came out at the end, and we were met by this, must have been about 6.5 foot. He made me feel quite short, and I'm 6'2". And he was like a big guy. And I just walked in, you know, tentatively, and he just went, bam, just grabbed me face. Like that, like really hard actually, and he was just clenching my face like that, and he was going something about, I wonder how many wallets I could make out of your turkey neck. He was just had me around the neck, and he was like just grabbing me neck and stroking it, and at that point I thought, right, this is going to be really intense. This is like, this isn't you know, they're not messing around here. They're starting off with how they mean to go on.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't have a glow stick, so I was just like, yeah.
And I waved my glow stick.
Yeah.
Stay away from me.
Everyone was like, but yeah, so that was a very intense start. And then we made our way into the next section. And I just looked back. I was at the front, so I was looking back to see, like, you know, is everyone still with us? And then next thing, I just seen him jump on the other man that we were with, and like mount him on the floor as if he was strangling him, and the guy was just like that.
And he was throwing hay in his face.
It was just
picking hay up off the floor and putting it in his face.
It was nuts. It was nuts. It was a great start, because it set the standard of what we were about to see. The next bit was we went into a room, the Annabelle, you know, from The Conjuring. So she was behind a case. Just sat there like that. And
that was so good.
That was so good. Genuinely, you didn't know if it was real or not.
No.
Because it was so well lit and well themed. She looked like a doll, didn't she?
Did.
So we're going, is that real? Is she real? Is she going to move? And then next thing she went,
yeah.
We went, oh. And then the lights went out.
No, they didn't.
Wow.
First, she was going to the on the handle, wasn't she? She was going to the handle.
Oh, yeah.
She wanted people to open, and everyone kept going, and then kept getting a fright, and then going to do it. That was so scary. That's where we realised she was real.
Then didn't the lights go out, and then she
yeah. Then the light, as someone went to, I think someone went to get it, and then the lights went out.
Yeah.
Like pitch black.
And then she reappeared like behind me, sort of running at us. So then that was like a massive jump scare. But that whole scene was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Well, a lot of the things I've noticed about this place is they weren't just rooms where you could walk in and go straight out. A lot of the time you were in that room until you could get out.
Yeah. They like stopped you.
Or a different exit was like revealed to you via one of the actors, or you know, it would be highlighted via a light or something like that, or it would open. But a lot of the time you felt that's what worked for me, is you felt like you were in that scene until you could get out.
Yeah, because as soon as you went into each one, the door shut behind you, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you were stuck in with your group. No one could get in or out.
Yeah. Then we were led down into this confined maze section, which was just wood panelling, but it was pitch black, so it was, you know, quite scary, quite confined, quite claustrophobic. And again, there was a section there where I got a real jump, because I felt someone grab me from above, and I looked up, and they had like a netting, and it was just a woman lying on the netting, sort of grabbing down at you. Which that was really effective. That worked well. We were then led into a cattle truck outside. So then this guy was like, this way, come on, as if someone was trying to help you. So we all ran up this ramp, and the next thing he or she was laughing, slammed the door, and we realised that we were in a cattle truck. And then next thing, it was like 50 people. Were like, it felt like that.
Yeah.
Probably all 4 people. But they were all banging on the sides and banging on the roof. So it was like, really loud, really intense. Something else happened in there, and I can't remember.
I think people were grabbing, weren't they? Like,
Oh yeah,
there was like gaps underneath.
Yeah.
So like hands were going through, so touching your legs and things like that, which was scary. So then the next room that we went into was really scary. So it was a scene from The Exorcist, you know, that obviously the famous scene that everybody knows, where she's on the bed, and that was horrible. So as we walked in, it was really dark, and then we went round the corner, and all of a sudden you could see the bed, and then you couldn't see her, could you? At first, you could just see like a figure on the bed, like strapped onto a bed, and the figure rose.
That looked good. That looked really good, yeah.
Which was
she
so
levitated
scary.
up.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, obviously you could see it, but she was so good, wasn't she? The acting from her.
Yeah.
And then she ended up obviously getting the restraints and stuff on, and then she was throwing maggots at us.
But we weren't sure if they were actual maggots or just like rice or something. But you know, obviously
the sound of it on your coat was like, oh.
In that moment, it's a horrible feeling. Because I was thinking, I don't want them to go down my hood.
Yeah,
and they possibly could have been real maggots.
Yeah,
you don't know, do you? But at the next bit, we were taken out, and we got into this tunnel, and then the walls started coming in.
Yeah, that was really scary.
That was like really scary, that bit. And I think they had posters, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And like the characters were coming out through the posters, but obviously because the walls were like right closed in, it was very intense, wasn't it? And
I couldn't get past. At one point, everyone was going, and I couldn't get past because there was just a hand there. And every time I kept trying to duck, he kept like putting it, so I couldn't get past.
Because it was such a small group of 6 of us as well. Each tour is like you're not worried about the next group behind you catching up or you catching up, because I think they allow you to have the complete experience, or you know you're nearing the end before the next batch come through. So it felt very personalised. That was one of the best things about it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I did that.
I thought that was like really good actually, and it's only now I've just realised that felt like we were just on our own.
Yeah.
So it felt a bit like you were part of your own horror film.
Yeah.
In many ways. It was really good. Really good.
Sometimes you have people catching up, don't you? When you if
you're
trying to like relax and not relax.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If you're trying to just kind of take it in and like, you know, take it slow and see what's going on and like take each bit in. Some people just run through. So then sometimes you'll end up and there's a load of people behind you, and then nobody gets anything out of it then, do they? No. So it was good the way it was done. It felt very personalised, which I appreciated. Oh, the next section, we all loved this, but we ended up back outside again. There was a full-size real-life ambulance with the sirens going. We had to go through the ambulance, and they were performing CPR on someone that had just been attacked, and the guts were coming out, and it was freaky though. It was really well done. And you felt so voyeuristic actually being in the ambulance, because it was a real ambulance and everything was like really authentic, and there was a paramedic working on someone that had obviously just been attacked, and you think from what you've just been in. So that was a really effective that was really effective. And then she chased you. Can't even remember that, to be honest. Because you were the last one. At that point, you ended up the last in the group. Yeah. And then I remember going out and it turned around and there was just this zombie woman going to you. I can't remember that. Yeah, because you were like, oh, it gave you a fright. Yeah, I think with these things, it's again, this is why we didn't want to do this last night in the car. And like, oh, it was brilliant and it was so well done and well themed. Because you miss out on so many of these moments that, again, you know, even now I don't remember that, but you said I reacted to it, so obviously I did. But I think it's kind of like a little bit, when something's traumatic, you can block it out, can't you? You know what I mean? Wow. Traumatic. That's what it was. Another highlight was we were put in a lift at one point as well, which I felt like it did go down a little bit, the lift. I actually don't know. I don't know whether it did or not. But again, like your senses play tricks with you, but it felt like it had gone down a little bit. And then what happened in the lift? Oh, that was it. Then it all started rumbling. The lights went out, and then next thing, the little girl from the Ring was there.
just like right in our faces. That was a
scary.
That was a scary one. Another use of a good emotional tactic, which is, you know, it's not a new thing, but this was particularly well done, was we were taken into like a cannibal's human butchers. And so like the guy had the pig mask on, and there was as soon as we walked into this room, there was a girl screaming behind a cage, and I was the first one to walk in this section, and she was like, please help me, please, screaming. But she made eye contact with me, and it was a horrible like dilemma, because obviously you know that it's not real, but still she was like, please help me, please, and she was pointing, and then this fellow with the big axe and the pig face come in, and then he was making us oink and things like that. And what else was he doing? I can't remember.
And he singled out one of the girls, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was like getting her to oink on her own and stuff like that. And because she was a bit scared in there, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So if you're scared, they pick on you.
But that's it. I mean, like, again, these just weren't scares. These were like sort of little shows, weren't they? These sections, which was nice because you still got the portions that were scare and jump heavy, and then there was sort of little set pieces like that, and like the next section, which I'm about to tell you about. The theming in this room was fantastic. It was done up like a real flat, and the contrast from the room that we'd just been in into this one was like night and day. So it was like a 70s themed flat, and we were just met by this guy just dancing provocatively with our back to us. So straight away we're like, what the hell's that? And we're walking in looking at this flat, and then he turns around, and it was Jeffrey Dahmer. So obviously if you've seen the latest Netflix series on Jeffrey Dahmer, he's quite, in the public mind at the moment. So they've obviously jumped on that and thought we'll do a scene with him. But that was particularly creepy, that one, wasn't it?
And you had the song playing as well.
Yeah, the song.
Like that plays on.
Well, I can't remember the song now off the top. But you'll know the one from, he always plays it in his flat when he's about to, do whatever he done. But we've just watched the series, so it was particularly effective to us.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the series, I'm sure there's some people that go in that bit and like, that was random, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that was good. He had a drill. He had a plastic penis which was rubbed in my face, and he took a particular shining to me, this guy, and it was getting a little bit much for me. Like, he was like rubbing me up and down and that, like, I'm against you, give me a little cuddle, and then he licked the side of my face, but he was like deep breathing in my ear, and I'm like, oh, stop. And that's not like just because it's a man-on-man thing, that's just because that's a very, very close thing to do with someone, isn't it? And I'm just like, oh, yeah, it was very uncomfortable, that. And but it was funny. It was a really, really good section, and the theming was fantastic. The last part was there was a clown section, wasn't there? Two men, who were like, half dressed. One big guy. And he sat the other guy in our group down and rubbed his belly in his face. And the other guy, which was dead funny, I don't know if you got onto this, but the other clown stood there smiling like this. And then he kept giggling, and then he'd just go, with a little, I don't know what they call, little honker. And then like he'd say something, and then he'd just be looking at one of you, just smiling, and he'd go, and it just made me laugh. It was really funny. And that's another thing I'll say, that there was loads of comedy in it. It wasn't all dark and aggressive. It was sometimes funny. It was a nice mix of everything. And just as we were leaving that section, he popped around the corner and looked at me and smiled and went, and it made me laugh. So good. From there, we were led outside. We were taken down. We were now back on the farm, like a mudland area. And next thing we hear, vroom, 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 vroom. And from round the corner, this guy on a quad bike, an actual quad bike, just started like driving after us. So we had to run. Yeah. But it was all muddy. So obviously you're worried about falling over as well. And I think you nearly went at one point. Your feet, ow. See how my knee cracked then? Oh. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, I thought Kirsty was going to go at one point. I seen her feet go, but obviously you can hear this quad bike behind you. And then was it the people watching who just done it shouting, "Get in the caravan"?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I just hear, "Get in the caravan, get in the caravan, hide in the caravan." So I'm thinking, oh, this is part of it. So I went to get in the caravan, and then as I went to get in this caravan that was set outside, there was a man with a chainsaw in there. He went, "Rum, rum, rum." So then that was obviously year ending, and we were like chased to the end of the experience. But yeah, it was so different to anything I've ever done before. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was good because the way it was, like the way it was continuous, I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the way, like we said before, it was in sections, but you stayed with your little group. So then you went into a room, the door was shut behind you, there was no way out kind of thing.
Yeah.
You had to stay in there until the scene was sort of done. Then you had to go into the next one. I enjoyed that. I thought that was really good, the way they did that.
I did. I do you know what I'd say? Genuinely, it far exceeded my expectations of it.
Yeah.
And that sounds snobby, that, because, you know, I suppose just because an event can be all over social media or all over, you know, sending out promotional videos, and doesn't mean they're necessarily the best.
No.
Just means they might have more money to spend on marketing.
Yeah.
But this event, we were talking to the person that we met at Morrisons. The girl, she was telling us that her sister's been running it, or she owns the event, and it's been going for over 10 years. But it just shows you some of these events aren't in your knowledge, but they are there.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that they're not good, does it? It doesn't mean, you know.
The fact that Kirsty won these tickets, you know, it only cost us like £20 in petrol to get there and back, about 40 miles from Liverpool. I would recommend it for the price.
Oh God, yeah.
I would, and you know, a lot of these events, they're fantastic, but it's hard to recommend them when they're £30 plus, because they're not the longest of things. And this wasn't very long. It was about, say, half an hour, 25 minutes for the full event. But I could say that I would recommend this. It was really good. It was really, really good, and completely different to anything I've ever done before. And our group was all saying that, weren't they? They were all like, this is just so different to anything that we've done before. But anyway, do you have any closing thoughts on it?
I just thought it was very good. And I would go again. And, you know, we both said as well, like it's obviously we got the tickets because I won the competition, but we would pay, and we'd go again and like pay, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Like, I definitely would. But yeah, it was very good.
100%.
And I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot. Anyway, I'm sorry about this. It's been quite a long video. God, we've been recording a long time. Unfortunately, it just wasn't going to work trying to vlog bits because it was too...
You can't. And also, they said, didn't they?
Yeah.
They said, although it's like there was like a group of like young ones and stuff, and they were saying to them, although it's tempting to be taking pictures and like, you know, putting it on your social medias and stuff like that, please don't take pictures while you're in the mazes. Yeah. So you can't, and there's not...
She said it was dangerous as well.
Yeah, there's nowhere... It's not like you stop and then it's like, say like Scare Kingdom, you stop and then it's the next house and it tells you what it is.
I think
there's nothing like that, is there?
No, I think that's what I mean. That's why I'm explaining that, because with Scare Kingdom vlog that we've done, you can film the approaches, and then you can explain what the last maze was done, so it becomes more of a vlog, whereas this is just a sit down video and telling you our experience. So it might be a little bit long-winded, but I feel that for people that want to know about it, because as I said, there's not a lot of information out there, it might be useful, and it might just make you go, actually, yeah, I will give that a go, because we're not going to get murdered.
And you can have a glow stick.
Yeah. And to be fair, as well, it's a great system.
Yeah.
They're comfortable, dead easy. The buses are literally every few minutes. Good. And then on the way back, we finished the event, said ta-ra to our little group. By the way, if anyone's ever watching this from our little six, it was lovely to meet you. Yeah, and that made it for us having because the couple we were with were dead funny, really nice, down to earth. And the two young girls that we were with, I say young girls, they were about 21, weren't they? But I suppose that's young now to me. But they were such funny girls, weren't they? Like it made it. Fantastic event, and recommend you checking it out in the future. Again, we're not affiliated with them in any way. Kirsty just won the tickets, and we thought we'd do a little video on it.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to boot that like button, subscribe. We will see you next time in the next video. Ta-ra.
Bye.
Cheers.
Nice.
Nice. Every time. Thanks for watching Airtime, John. Please consider subscribing for more content like this. Check out my latest video below. Oh, and follow me on social media. The links are in the top right corner. Hit that bell button for upload notifications, and remember, sharing is caring. See you next time. Ta-da.